Yo, what is up, guys? Huge Genesys news. They made a point adjustment. Am I happy with it? Yeah, there's some cool stuff. I'm not going to go into details about the point adjustment, but I do want to bring you guys a top deck video. I'm here joined with Mikey, resident Genesis expert, and John Wilkin, duelist who's good at getting second. And you know, we're ready. We're ready to dominate the video here and show you guys what the best decks are of the format. So let's begin. I actually made. I didn't make this whole tier list, but I found it online and added a few decks, and then I made my own tiers. So we have should win, is good, is okay, is a deck. Side event squared. You might wonder what that means. So Genesis is a side event to begin with, and if you're playing this category of deck, you should be entering the side event of a side event. Hope that makes sense. And then don't waste entry on side events. So this is like you really shouldn't even bother. And then I don't know what the cards do, which is a category I never had before, but it's a very valid one because there's a whole list of decks here, but I'm not going to show them all because I don't know what half of them do. So let's begin. First, Draco. I might have been the only person who toppled this deck and they still nerfed it to the ground, but it doesn't matter because it's still the best deck. Because you can't stop Draco. Should win category easily. Easily. Next, Labyrinth. Michael, what are we thinking about Labyrinth?
It's probably in the it's okay tier.
It's okay, yeah.
It should be and should win if there's a good pilot, but
I
Daruma did just go to 1 point. This deck is pretty broken, to be honest.
okay, okay. Next, we'll go Centurion. Michael, you're also our resident Centurion expert. You want to tell me what your opinions on it are?
I'm pretty sure it's too heavily pointed. I think you can pair it with like Elf Note or something. I don't know. I would just put in is a deck. I think it's too heavy pointed.
Okay. Madulce. Madulce, a very powerful deck. It does have the ability to play a lot of hand traps. I believe they can even play some heralds, which I somehow did not point. By the way, if anyone who has any input on the points is here, you guys messed up. You guys did not point herald cards, so they will wreak havoc once again. With that in mind, I think Madulce is a pretty good deck, and I'm going to put it in the is good category. It's not a crazy deck, it's not crazy bad. It's definitely solid.
Yeah, I think any deck that can utilize the like orange light, green light is just broken, to be honest.
Yes.
Those cards are insane.
Next, we have Red Dragon Archfiend. I'm not going to lie, Michael, unless you know, I don't know what these cards do. So I'm about to put them in the I don't know category. I know it's.
Not put in is okay. It's just a mid combo deck. Like it's fine.
Okay. Next, we have Onomat. Now, in theory, this deck should be unplayable. But the madman who played it before probably is going to make an even more broken version of the deck that has to win a die roll to absolutely make an unbreakable board. So, with that in mind, I'm going to automatically put it in is good because it does so many things and I don't want to read all the cards. So, it's probably a
Yeah,
pretty good deck.
good.
Probably a pretty solid deck.
I mean, even Goblinberg and gloves being zero makes that deck something.
So many things it does. So many searches. The guys, they did not put Joel low enough. Next, Mr. Mitsurugi. I think Habakiri is a terrible representation of the Mitsurugi deck in Genesis, but people still play it in some capacity. They play it in all sorts of weird builds. I heard of there's an RB variant or something, RMX. Some weird build is one of the new crazes, but Mitsurugi's okay. I mean, you get to summon a board wipe. Fake negate. People make it work. People make it work. Radiant Typhoon. Broken. All you did was add visions as points. Not enough. Should win. Very broken deck. It is pretty good still, even with all the hits. And yeah. Next we have Pearly. Deck I talked about in some great detail before. Crow is 1 point, and Ogre is 4, and Mourner is 5. So a lot of the heavy hitters that were bad against it are a little more pointed. So I'm going to put it in the is okay category. I'll put it toward the top of is okay. Bordering on is good. So, not a bad deck.
I think the issue with Pearly is the deck is very good. Like it, you should probably play it going second. because now that a lot of the free non-engine is now pointed, like people like there's basically nothing to play. So I mean, people are gonna have like 6 kaijus on their side. So
Yeah.
you probably just play it going second, and going second it is like ridiculously good, especially with Crow probably getting phased out.
Yeah, we toyed around with a build that did just go second and played all sorts of fun cards, and it had some success, but ultimately I didn't think it was good enough to like really bring to an event. But I still think there's some potential with it. Next we have Tune, which I think should win still. If you notice, and you're gonna see this with all the decks that should win, is in the should win category. I don't know if I should be giving this out for free, but in the should win category, the decks can do what I call everything. And a lot of decks can do this. Like, I guess Pearly could do this, Labyrinth. Most decks can do this. But a deck that, for example, couldn't do everything is Mitsurugi. And what is everything? Everything it can deal with any situation that a normal game state would offer. So Draco tail cards can pop back row, monsters, negate cards, bounce cards, recursion, have infinite endgame. They can do all sorts of those things. Same with Radiant
Ma,
Typhoon. Same with Tune. All these
ma,
decks can do all sorts of these things, and it's pretty broken. That's what makes a Genesys deck broken. Its ability to do everything, and yeah, Tune has that ability. It can pop back row, pop monsters, bounce cards, has infinite recursion. So it's a really good deck. Next, Super Quantum. Michael, take it away.
Honestly, it probably should be and should win, but no one's gonna play this deck, so just put it in is good.
Is good.
This is the best. This is probably the best Herald deck by far. It's engine 0 points. You should not play the towers guy. Yeah, it's engine 0 points. You get to play green and orange light. A lot of 1 card starters. This deck is genuinely ridiculous, but nobody will play it.
Yeah, really good deck, guys. So don't play it. If you're my opponent, don't play it. But if you want to win, it's good. Next, Punk. They did hit it a little bit, I think, but it's still a decent deck. No one really plays it for some reason. I think it's really solid. I mean, it's borderline on is good and is okay in my opinion, but I'll put it on the is good, is okay rather. Solid deck, still can draw a lot of cards, still can do a lot of fun things. Next we have Vanquish Soul. Now, Sam, if you're right here watching, if you don't know, Sam's the madman who invented that Genesys deck. He's probably going to invent something else silly, some other sub-engine to play to search attributes. And, I don't think the deck's good. I think it's very bricky. And it relies on drawing well. But it's a decent deck. And with that said, I think it's at the top of is good. It's, again, one of those decks that can handle anything. It can pop cards. It can have infinite recursion pretty much. It can play on your opponent's turn, which in some capacity all these decks can do that are at the top. And yeah, it's just a really solid, well-rounded choice for Genesys that can pretty much handle any situation. Next we have Dragon Rollers. I don't know why they felt the need to make this lower in points. The deck was fine to begin with, and now it's extra fine.
That has
Honestly,
got to be good.
it,
100%.
it could be and should win. Same with Vanquish. I'll put it at the top of is good. It feels kind of like an injustice to put Onomat and Madulce in these 3 categories, but it's a really good deck.
Bro, you cannot put Onomot and Madulce in the same category as it.
You're right. You're right. Update.
Put that at like the tier above, like should win or whatever. Could win.
No, should win. Should wins for Draco Tail. That's an elite tier.
Okay.
That's an elite
Okay.
tier.
Then like right below that.
But I think we're good here. Next we have Elf Note.
I think Dragon Ruler is going to be so well positioned, especially with cards like Slayer and Dark Ruler getting points, and like people may not play those type of cards. I'm not sure how the Dragon Rulers got less points, yet the extra deck cards that they use are no points. I don't know how that Gen X card that literally can negate every attribute in the game is free. I don't understand. It also does the Newman lock. Very stupid deck. Just Giga combo, Giga go first.
And it can play Super Rejuve just for fun.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the design of reducing the points on the names. Makes no sense. Deck is completely degenerate. Go first win.
Yeah, quick intermission here. I did forget one of the best decks of the format. Let's add it right now. Let's add it right now. Magnet Warrior. What are we thinking? What are we thinking with
Oh,
Magnet Warrior?
probably.
Should win.
I don't know if it's that good.
I think it's that
I
good.
mean,
It's the number one rated
yeah,
deck on
it might be
DB of
that good.
last format. It is broken. It does a lot of things. I don't think it's unfair, but I think it's a deck that's in that same tier of the other decks.
Yeah, it does do well with that Emancipator cards. Yeah, it's probably bottom of like should win. It's very good.
Yeah.
One of the better combo decks, I think.
Next, Elf Note. Now, it gets a lot better with the new support coming out in the next main set. But at the moment, I think it was a really undiscovered deck that didn't really get hit that much, other than Theo Realize being 5 points. So, really solid deck, actually. I think top of is good, or middle of is good, rather. Bottom of is good,
Yeah,
maybe.
probably bottom.
Yeah, definitely a solid deck. Uh, Moving on, we have Dark Lord, Dark World, no Dark Lord. Uh, yeah, the deck's pretty good. Didn't really get hit at all. You can still play Herald for some reason. They didn't hit that, as we mentioned. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's probably in the is good category.
I would
Could
say
be.
probably below Dragon Ruler, above Vanquish Soul. This deck is crazy. You're gonna see a trend of like any Arclight deck that like the fairies getting sent get value. Like the one guy when it's sent like searches like a Dark Lord card or like Droplet or something. Like a lot of like the decks that give Arclight value is or not Arclight, Orange Light value is gonna be very good because Gamma for free is really balanced.
Yes. Well, next we have Art Mage. Very similar to Elf Note. Frankly, the same. Different deck though. I'll put it as is good. It lost a lot of its counters with Dark Ruler being out of the meta effectively. Even at 2 points, I really don't think people are going to play it. And also, a lot of the counters to it are just gone. um, I'll put it as is good. It honestly could be one of the better decks, but
It got a lot of points to its engine.
only Theo Realize,
So
I
I
believe,
think
right?
no, it's theorized Medius, and there's like some of their spells got pointed a little bit too. I don't know. I never like I really never thought this deck was like that good, to be honest. And now that it's like I thought the only reason why it was like good is because it was like basically no points, but now that it actually has like some points attached to it and it reduces its non-engine, I don't think it's as good.
Fair.
But it definitely is still a strong deck.
Fair. Next, we have Odeon. This might be where a difference of opinion comes between me and Mikey. I think the deck's not bad. It's definitely a deck that could win an event if you win every die roll. If you don't win every die roll, then you have to draw, hopefully, your broken traps. Uh, like Purge and Songs and whatnot. And if you don't exactly draw those cards, then you just lose to any competent deck in this category. So, I'd put it at, like, is good. It could be your day. You could win every die roll and not have a chance for your opponent winning. But I don't think it's that broken. Michael?
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's not great. Can't really go second too well.
Okay.
But going first, it should pretty much never lose. And with cards like Ghost Ogre getting more points, like all the head, like the fact that the head traps are going up in points, like this deck is gonna resolve its combo every time, which is just set 5. So yeah, is good if you can win die roll.
Yes. Next, Exosister. Now, if you guys read the Genesys blog post, apparently this is the worst deck ever printed. Burn all your cards, quick sell them at the vendor booth. And this came up. I was talking to some people in the Genesys Discord, and they said, "Well, surely not everyone who played Exosister was bad. That's why I didn't have a bad win rate." And I'm not saying everyone who played Exosister was bad, but I find it very hard to believe that this deck had a 40% win rate. Something must have catastrophically went wrong with either the deck building, the plays, the matchups. I think this deck is broken, like genuinely broken. They barely pointed it because apparently it's the worst deck ever printed. I'm putting it at top, almost top of should win, second best. It's one of the best decks of the format, guys. Like, it has a free Abyss Dweller. Its go first board, even if it gets Kaiju'd and whatnot, is still broken. Has infinite points for hand traps and non-engine. It's literally just like a custom deck. Like the new Caramel card, Betrayal, are the most custom cards you can ever read. The new Fairy, I don't even know what it's called, the extra normal summon one, broken. I mean, it does have some flaws, but I guess literally everyone will be playing Kaiju's. But that can be, I'm not trying to throw out too much free game here because I want to win, but you can play stuff like Massacre Restrict in your deck. You can play stuff like I was toying around with like Offerings to the Doomed. Either pop your opponent's card, pop your own Kaiju so you can play. You can play Final Bringer of End Times to pop your own card and their card. Realm Eulogy. You can play any of these like pop cards to not only play around the Kaiju, but also add a form of interruption just for the extra bodies that your deck produces. It does have a hard time like grinding and whatnot, but turn 2 you should be winning. And I do think probably one of the most, I guess like a red herring would be the word, where people think you play it and you probably don't in hindsight, is you probably don't play Shifter in this deck. Well, it's really good, and I might be wrong in this regard, but Shifter kind of breaks away from a lot of what the deck's trying to do. It doesn't let you do everything that it can offer. So, obviously, format depending, you might not play Shifter in this deck, is what I'm getting at. And that might be the best build to play, and that might be one of the reasons that people did so poorly with it, because they did play Shifter, and they played against a lot of these top decks which don't even care about the graveyard. So, yeah, I think it's a broken deck, is what I'm getting at.
Well, I think there's also a little bit of a lack of critical thinking skills for people who thought that Exa was bad. Um, well, part of the reason why it didn't perform is, well, there's a little card called Killtune RS, and Killtune may or may not have been, probably, I think it was the most popular deck by a pretty significant margin, and well, it makes your opponent's monsters with 1700 or less attack gain a level. And guess who has 1700 or less attack? Pretty much every single monster. So when you're playing a rank 4 deck and your level 4s are level 5,
It's a little difficult.
yeah, it's not a good look.
Yeah, one thing that I think Konami may have overlooked was that, the top decks, Killtune was the most represented deck in the most recent events. Obviously, that had a large bearing into the Exosister matchup. It also had a large reasoning as to why Ash Blossom was seeing an increase in play. And I think they saw those as independent events. Like, oh, look at all these people playing Ash now. We should upgrade the points. But in actuality, it's just because the Killtune cards are so low in points that they have the ability to even play Ash. So, Killtune's a problem. On a full separate note. But, yeah, Exosister's a good deck, even with all the problems. Lunalite. I don't really know. I don't really think it's a good deck in Genesys like that great. It's decent. It's good going second and whatnot. Mikey, what are you thinking?
Uh,
I think it's like a is
Probably-
okay, is good category. Like it's decent.
Yeah,
It's like a
probably-
Pearly type of
Probably
deck.
like a above Red Dragon Archfried and is okay. Like, I mean, Heavy Poly is still ridiculous, but I don't know. Like, everyone's probably gonna have to play like at least 3 to 6 Kaiju's in their side deck. Like, this deck can only play one Liger. Going second is pretty good with Heavy Poly, but I don't imagine you'd play this deck going second.
Yeah.
Still pretty strong though. Like, I mean, Liger's insane.
Yeah. Next we have Ryziel. Now, Ryziel pure by itself. Don't waste your time. But X Ryziel does a lot of things. I don't know if you've read the card. It does a lot of things. You don't have to play it by itself. Now, I'm not going to give everyone too many ideas, but the Ryziel engine is broken. And I think lashed into the right deck, it's pretty good. I'll put it in is okay. I don't know if it's as good as some of these decks, but it's definitely a solid contender, and it can make some pretty unbreakable boards going first. Put the right cards in the deck. So,
I've
not bad.
experimented with this deck. It is there's some builds that are absurdly broken, but the reason they are not being played is because of RS. To be honest,
Yeah, same reason as Exosister. But
let's just say Droll should probably not be 20 points.
let's also say Flying Sea should be 0 points. Next, we have Generator. Um, it kind of got nerfed without the VFD being in the deck, but it's still not a bad engine on its own. I'll put it in kind of that middle category of like is okay. Uh, it does a lot in its own, but it's not one of the top decks where it can solve a lot of problems. So I think is okay as a fair ranking. Next we have Fire King. Fire King is one of the decks that can pretty much do everything. Make negates, make a good go first board, clear every card. But it's just not that great. Like it lost previously to the 1 point non-engine DD Crow, and it just wasn't enough. Like its go first board wasn't consistent enough. Like there's ways around that, as you guys probably don't even know. But it's it's not that great of a deck. I might put it at the bottom, probably above Mitsurugi in this red Archfiend deck, but it's like the middle bottom-ish of is okay. It's like it's not a bad deck. Like I think you can do well with it. It's just not super broken either. Um,
I think it. I think the deck is really good actually right now, especially with Crow getting pointed.
yeah,
There's a like it's basically a fire toolbox. I'm pretty sure Kieran and Ulcanix got reduced points, and you get to play them with the Drac cards. Like I think it's actually very, very good.
Ooh, I didn't even know that. Wait a minute. I'll put that is good.
I think it's above. I think it's pretty high up in the is good. I think it's like above Archmage to be honest.
Okay. We'll put it in the
It's
middle of
very
is good.
strong going second. You can play with the Snake Eyes cards as well. Flambridge obviously goes really like well in the deck. Snake Ash is 0 points. That'll probably prove to be a mistake one day, but time will tell.
Yeah. Next we have Branded. Now,
S tier.
John Wilkin is of course saying S tier as he likes to play 60 card pilot decks, but
S tier.
I don't know if it's the craziest deck. You can do a lot of cool things with Fallen of the White Dragon and the new Synchro and whatnot. So it's definitely not a bad deck, but I don't think it does as much as the should win category. I'd put it in like is good. Um, it does a
Yeah,
lot, but you're
you're
also
just
not
a hater.
playing a lot. You're not playing a lot of the engine cards. So
I think. All right, so there's 2 ways you can play Branded right now. You can either play it with Fawn and the White Dragon. You can play it with Branded Fusion. I think if you play with Branded Fusion, it's probably here. I think if you play with Fallen and the White Dragon, it should be like way higher.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I the brain fusion builds are kind of like because all of the fusions are points too, so it just kind of like funnels you into that.
yeah,
Yeah, then if you play, honestly, Fawn and the White Dragon is so broken. Like I don't think people realize how absurd of a card Ecclesia and the Dark Dragon is. Like it's basically like a God grind game, like by itself. I think Fawn and the White Dragon should be standard. Like you play triple Ecclesia, you can play a Luber to get high spirits. High spirits can get Ecclesia or Fawn and the White Dragon, and you just play Branded without Branded Fusion, which sounds terrible, but I'm pretty sure it's the way to go considering like Fawn and the White Dragon is one of the highest quality cards of all time, and it is I'm not gonna lie, it is definitely really strong, and I think it's heavily underexplored. Like I think when people saw the 30-point White Dragon, they didn't even want to like experiment with it. They like some people just are so tunneled on Branded Fusion, but I think both builds are fine, but I think Fallen in the White Dragon is like really, really good.
yeah. Put it in the middle of is good. Solid deck. Next we have the Call the Haunted strategy. Now I don't think this deck has been properly explored enough, and it doesn't have a great build that's like popularized for it. But I also don't think it's that bad of a deck, especially when Crow's given points and their main starter is obviously very affected by Crow. Uh, I think it could be pretty good. It might be in that same type of category as like Odeon, maybe probably a little worse, but it's definitely a really unexplored deck that can do a lot. And I think if someone made the right build, it could do a lot of damage. So
See, I mean, seems like the cards generate a lot of advantage, but I think I feel like if Radiant will get played a lot and Exo, I feel like is really bad.
Yeah. Well, time will tell with that. Next we have Dinosaur. Now it did get lowered in points. People were quick to point out that Miscellaneous Stores is now 67 points, but
Funny number.
a very funny number. I don't really know what the deck can do in Genesis. Is anyone well versed
Nothing,
enough?
nothing unless you play with the Dirac cards and Fire King. So just probably put
I
inside
don't
of
know
it
what they do.
squared.
Let's put it in that category.
No. I know what they do. Just put them inside of it squared. Like, yeah, you can play
Side
Ovi
and
Oh,
Raptor.
squared.
You can play Ovi Raptor and Fire King, but this deck's like poop by itself.
okay. Next we got Memento. Uh, Deck got a little worse without visions, but deck's still pretty bad without. Now I'm very well versed in this. The deck can be the most broken deck ever printed in Genesis, but it can also just lose to like one interruption half the time. So I'll put it like it's better than Odeon. What deck's not better than Odeon? But it's not nothing more than that. Next we got Burning Abyss. Next we have Mimigul. Now Mimigul has a really broken card which just takes everything. So not bad. It makes some fun stuff. I honestly would put it like the top of his good maybe. I think it's an underrepresented and rated strategy that you can just randomly lose to this, especially if you're playing a deck with a lot of big guys where just they take your board, you get OTK'd. It also can create like a pseudo lock where it can affect some decks heavily. So I think it's not that bad of a deck. Maybe underexplored. Next we have Voiceless Voice. Deck seems kind of mid. You could play pretty much the whole engine now. I think they keep lowering the points on it. But Mikey, what are you thinking?
I actually like this deck a lot. I think it's pretty strong. It's pretty good going first. It's not as bad into the kaijus as you think because of the other continuous spell that, like, if a monster's normal or special, you can ritual again. I think you probably like the way you build this deck in Gen is very different than like how you would be in the TG. Like, I think it's called Blessing. I think you'd want to play 3 Blessing. It's like a card you actually really want to hard open, and then also you can't really make Dinomundo to get another continuous spell on your opponent's turn. I do think the deck's pretty good, and again, it is another Arclight deck technically because Low is a fairy, or not Arclight, Orange Light. You could just play a bunch of uh Heralds, and you can play Eva, and then you can go Herald pitch Eva, search Low, which is pretty cool. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's actually pretty good, and if it keeps having barrier get reduced in points, I think it'll eventually be really strong.
Yeah, not a terrible deck. I think I'd put it like middle of is okay.
Yeah, I think it's like terribly underplayed right now, even though I think it's really good.
Next we have Ubel. I actually do know what these cards do, and I did try to make a deck, and maybe I had the wrong build, but I think I found its home. Next we have White Forest, and I don't really know what these cards do in Genesis. I don't even know how much points they are, Mikey.
uh, this deck's pretty good. Sylvie finally got pointed, but I would say probably top of it's okay. It's just some ignorant combo deck. Like, I mean, if it goes first, it wins. If it
Yeah.
goes second, it probably doesn't win. But if it goes first, it wins a lot.
Oh, like can you repeat that? So if you go first in Genesis, you win.
Yeah. So very common theme of Genesis is I feel like the going first win rate, especially when you win that pesky die roll. Um, I would say probably about 70-80%. Like going first is pretty disgusting in Genesis. And well, you see, the good free non-engine that we used to have. Well, apparently too many people are playing it because it's the only good free non-engine. So that got pointed, and we're upping hand trap. So going second is going to have an even lower win rate, which I sure everybody just loves.
yeah, let's just take a look at this. We'll have the is okay line be the deck that are somewhat playable. I'd say about 75% of these, if they win the die roll, go uninterrupted, the game's over. They're completely over. You lost immediately. There's no chance of recovery. Um,
Especially without Dark Ruler and Slayer. Like with
yeah.
Dark Ruler and Slayer like phasing out. Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with their philosophy with this pointless at all. It does not make sense to increase non-engine when going second has been miserable,
Now
especially since Trolls like
they didn't
banned
make
basically.
the non-engine completely unplayable. It's a low amount of points. It's not like banned, but even it being pointed at all makes a lot of the more powerful decks not be able to play it. Like I mean, Draco Tail's obviously broken, but it can't play it at all, pretty much.
Well, here's the issue with that. It's like I understand wanting to punish like higher pointed decks that inherently should have a stronger engine because they're highly pointed, but like completely increasing the points across the board for like the non-engine, the hand traps, like it's also just making like the lower powered decks worse, right? Like like there's some like no point deck, like there's some no point decks or like very low pointed decks that like I don't know, like I thought it was cool that they could play 3 Ash because like Ash is obviously like really good, one of the best cards ever, but that card is not worth 20 points for 3 non-engine. So like if they keep increasing like the popular non-engine, like I don't think that's a winning proposition because everyone going second is just going to repeatedly struggle. Because if you really think about it right now, like even the decks that are like mid-powered that require a lot of points for their engine, it's like I'm not sure how they're supposed to go second, considering like some of these decks are just so powerful. Like look, like Dragon Ruler, Vanquish Soul, uh, honestly, Magnet Warrior, Radiant Typhoon's really strong going first. Exo, Art Mage, Onomat, White Force. Like a lot of these, there's just too many combo decks, and if we keep going down the path of like us having worse and worse non-engine because just a lot of people are playing them because they're the only good cheap non-engine, like going second is going to be impossible. Like, what are people going to do now? Is everyone just going to play 6 Kaijus? Like, I don't think that's not going to beat these decks going second. You think a Kaiju is going to beat like Typhoon or like a full Dragon Ruler board? No. So I don't know. I hope they rethink their philosophy.
And playing Dark Ruler and Ultimate Slayer is already a kind of a concession that a lot of the good cards are pointed, so I guess we have to play these. And now, like, you really got to go down the list to even think about what's a playable card at this point. Um, Not to mention that, let's say, some of the medium powered decks wanted to play those type of cards, then it just promotes poor gameplay because, firstly, you're not going to be able to, play going second. And secondly, you're going to have to make your deck inherently more inconsistent to not play a lot of the powerful pieces of the engine so that you can fit in these, like, just mediocre non-engine to go second. It's just, I don't think it promotes great gameplay that you have to make that concession. But it is what it is. I don't even know what we were just on, but yeah, I think we should move along. Earth Machine. I don't.
Side
I
event
don't.
squared.
Sidemen squared. That's good enough for me. Gem Knight. I know some people thought this was a playable deck. I again don't know what these do, Mikey.
Uh, very low points. I think it's only 30 for Branded Fusion, or not Branded Fusion, Brilliant Fusion. Honestly, top of it's okay. It's just another Herald deck. Like there's kind of a theme going on here. Like
So if your
these
deck can
Herald
play
decks are just
Herald,
a little
it's
too
automatically about 10 tiers higher.
good. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm just gonna let the people think what they want.
Okay, next we have Tachyon. I know it has some stupid negate it can make. What else does it do?
Pretty much just that. I would say it's probably like above Generator. It is good. I mean, going first, it just I think it searches like 2 of the counter traps or whatever. Like it's just a pretty good Xyz deck.
Okay, okay. Oh, Monarch. Wow, that deck must be unplayable. They hit Zaborg a little more, right? Wait a minute, wait. You're telling me they didn't even play Zaborg before? Oh, and the deck that automatically wins if it goes first, it didn't get touched, and it's very represented. and it plays 3 Pot of Greed for fun, and Erebus rips half your hand. Oh, it's still on top. Oh, it's the best. Oh, that makes sense. So yeah, it's actually the best deck. I think everyone's gonna have to play
Yeah, another.
Lancia, Meister, Prey. They brick. Prey to win the die roll. It's a little broken. Opinions?
Well, see, the Zaborg list was I feel like that was like the cool version, but now that's unplayable because you can't play Soul Exchange because it's 100 points and Soul Exchange I think is 3 now. But our good friend Erebus is wow, 0 points? No, surely Erebus is not 0 points.
So you can play a competent engine, like full new competent engine of a deck for 0 points, and then you could play Domain, which is a really fun and interactive card.
So what I thought was very interesting is at the start of Genesys format, they made a call out to all FTKs and they said, if you find an FTK, we will ban it. Well, considering Monarch hand loops you for like 3 or 4 cards and then activates Domain, I don't know about you, Edge 4. I'd consider that as an FTK.
No, you get a turn. You get to watch them attack you.
Personally, I would consider that an FTK. So I'm not sure how Erebus is still 0 points. That doesn't really make sense to me, but we don't make the points, unfortunately.
Yep. Next we have Exodia FTK.
That it's dead.
Yeah, it was good for like a week. Doom Z. I don't know what any of those cards do.
I would just put them next to Art Mage and Elf Note, like just the Medius decks.
They
like,
do something.
Decks are all the Medius decks are good, or like decent enough, and they all got nerfed with Theorialize and Medius, but I mean they're all still strong. They're modern decks.
Crystron. I know you tested a lot with it.
I don't think a lot of people believe in this deck. I think it's really like adventure cards go well with it. They're 0 points. There's like one Ice Jade card that pitches a water, summons itself, and gives you like a free like Chen Ying or something. That card's broken. I think the Crystron deck's pretty good. Makes a good board, decent grind game. I think it struggles going second a little bit. Well, I mean that's just a common theme with a lot of decks, but
that's an interesting theory.
It's I don't know. I think it's definitely okay. I think this is also a criminally underplayed deck, but I would hope people would explore it because it is pretty cool.
And there's a lot more decks here, but we're only going to rate one more. Sprite. People toyed around with it a lot, but at the end of the day, it's you can put 40 cards together, 15 in an extra deck, and it's a deck. And I think that's where it belongs. You can make a Sprite. You can make 2 negates. Congratulations.
Actually, Eddie, I think Sprite is a little better than you think.
Really? Well, I don't think very highly of it. So, if you think it's a little better than what I think, it's not very high still. You could lose to it, like you could brick.
All right,
but,
so
yeah,
I think that's all for the.
I think that's all for the video. You see, there's all these other decks. If you want to play these, I mean, I'm assuming most of them are just in the side events, but some of them might be okay. And I don't know. I'm not gonna find out. So.
Yeah. Well, let's just let me take my my analytical abilities right now and let's analyze the list. So, would you say that the decks that we have in should win? They remind me of something, right? Like they look very similar to the best decks from before the point list. All of them.
Yeah, it's kind of like, they had 6 of the best decks, right? And then they had a dice. And then they rolled the dice, and every number is assigned to a deck. And then if the die landed on the deck, they added 30 points to the core. Right? That's pretty much what they did across the board. And if it didn't land on it, like Monarch, they laughed and they like, all right, we'll do it next time. and then there was like randomly they rolled Snake Eyes twice. So like, oh yeah, Ash gets points. And that's what happened.
Yeah, I think Vanquish Soul is the only top deck that lost a lot of stock with without the Genesys stuff.
Well, it's funny. I don't know if you actually
seems like
knew
we're going to be in the same. It seems like listen, all I'm gonna say is it seems like we're in the same meta, but now nobody has non-engine.
Did you know that?
That's awesome. I'm personally so excited for that.
Michael, did you know that Genesys cards aren't actually Vanquish Soul cards? So now you can just play a different engine. That's a fun fact. So.
Oh boy, I love Genesys.
Yeah, well, you guys have a lot to look forward to. Hopefully you win a lot of your die rolls. If you don't, hopefully your deck is bad enough to play Dark Ruler. So yeah, sorry for this being 40 minutes, but I think we had a lot of valuable lessons here, and I think you guys had a good watch. Thank you for watching.
Valuable lesson. Win the dice roll.
Exactly. You guys have a great day. And subscribe.